it's Pastor Misha, and I'm excited to be with you today. It's yet another glorious Sunday morning in the year 2025. We are alive in 2025. And yes, it is the month of March. We've been talking to you about speaking in the shared language, and I'm so excited about that because it has to be connectivity in order to make this thing work. Listen, let's give a shout out to Bishop Maynard, Dr. Mary T, and Pastor Jerry for their love and their support for everything that we do here. And a shout out to you too. Guess what? It is the month of March and it is Women's Month. And this weekend was International Women's Recognition Month, and I'm so excited about that. So I put on my garb so that I could celebrate the women who have paved the way and have stood through the test of time, who have been resilient and have grit to make sure that we can get to the places that we need to go. And I'm so excited about it. Last week, we talked to you about the power of your words. We talk about shared language. It's so important to understand that what is being released from our mouth, that we have the power to speak things into existence. We have the power to pave the way for us, as many women have done, and just people in general. We have that power. But the Bible tells us that life and death is in the power of the tongue, and we have the power to speak spirit and life, and it comes from us. And so I encourage you again, continue to speak positivity in your life and watch God do the rest for you. You have to believe it. Your behavior follows your belief. Today, I want to talk to you about our shared core values and the importance of having shared core values. You know, I have found that many times there's misunderstandings, there's misconnections. Sometimes we disconnect because we don't have the same value system. And it's very important that we understand this, because when you don't have the same value system, a lot of things impact your life, and they start at the core from your value system. So I want to just talk to you today about three things, and I want you to write these things down, why it's important to have a shared value system. The first one is shared value systems actually allow for you to create a strong sense of unity. And I don't know about you, but I've been in some relationships where we were not unified. I've been in some relationships where there was no unity, or we started off in that place of unity, or it seemed like we were in unity. But then as the things happened in life and our value systems began to really come to the forefront, I realized, like, whoa, wait a minute. We don't share the same thoughts, and we definitely don't share the same values. Let me just give you a few examples of sometimes these things happen. Like when you could be at a restaurant, right? First of all, the restaurant that you choose could really show your value system, right? I'm not even going to unpack that right now, but you talk about that later. But you could be at a restaurant, and the person that you're there with, they may treat the wait staff or the waiters or waitresses when they come to you, and they may have like a disregard to them, or maybe they turn their nose up at them, or they speak to them in a certain way, or maybe they mishandle how they order their food. I don't know if you've been out here with some people, and they'll just have the waiters or waitresses running back and forth and running back and forth, and then have the nerve to leave like $2-3 in tip when they know they should have left at least 7. They needed a 20%, not a 10% on their tip, because the way that you had them running. But that really comes from your value system, your value system, your value system. And when I'm out with people like that, I really don't go out again. I'll be honest with you. That's just me. I'm not going to be around people, because my value system, we have to have a shared value system. We have to be unified. I need to feel comfortable. I need to feel comfortable that when you leave the tip, it's reflecting me as well. And sometimes I'll do an extra. I may slide that person an extra $5, because I realize for my own sake, I need to be able to do that. So I'm just giving you just an example, but it's so important that we understand that we have to have a shared value system in order to have unity. And let me just tell you, this in ministry is so powerful, and it is so important that we have shared values, because how can we unify? How can two people walk together unless they agree what? In their values, agree that we should be walking together, agree that we should be taking this road, agree that this road that we're taking is important, Agree that when we are on this road, that we make the stops or whatever things that we need to do that are necessary. This is what it's talking about when it says, how can two agree? How can two walk together unless they agree? You have to agree that what we're doing is going towards the places that God wants us to go. A lot of times the reason why ministries break up, a lot of times the reason why people leave ministries is because they don't have a shared value system. They don't value what is being valued in the ministry. I'm going to say it again. Members don't value what the ministry is valuing. So if the ministry values the community and getting out in the community and doing community things, but you don't feel like we should be going to the community, you feel like everything needs to happen at home or everything needs to happen in the sanctuary, then the value system is going to come up and there's going to be questions that are going to be raised from either the member or the ministry or both. Yes, I put it there. I'm saying that to you. But that just happens. And so it doesn't mean that there has to be a breakup. But what it does mean, there needs to be a conversation to say, hey, listen, here's what I value. And how can my value system and your value system come together so that we can get the job done? Again, I'm not saying that there has to be a breakup in relationships, ministries, and any other way, but there needs to be now a conversation that needs to take place, an exchange of ideas, an exchange of words to make sure that we can get on the same place. Because when you have a strong shared values, you create unity amongst each other. And that, my friend, is so important. We need to be unified. As they say, we need to be moving as a unified front. Right now, Christianity, I see our value systems are all over the place. I don't know about you, but if they would take the pulse of Christianity in the Western world, and that's here in the United States, I believe that they would see that our value system looks like the heartbeat of somebody that's just going up and down. It's racing up, it races down, it races over here and races over there. It has changed so much because our values are no longer being shared. Some Christians believe that we should be taking care of the poor, which is in the Bible. The poor you will have with you always, and you should take care of the poor. It's one of the Beatitudes. And some Christians believe that you shouldn't take care of the poor. Some Christians believe that we should be pushing people out of this United States and our country. And some people believe that you should welcome everybody with open arms. Some people believe that you should love everybody. And some people believe that you shouldn't love everybody, that you should love people, don't love the sin. And so you have all of these value systems everywhere. And that is the reason why we're not unified. You want to know why? I'm giving you the answer right now. It's because we do not have the shared value system. And until we get this right, we're going to continue to walk around disconnected, different definitions of Christianity, or you're going to put yourself in the same position I put myself in. I just make myself as a believer. I just tell people that I'm just a believer. That's what I'm doing right now, is I am just being a believer. I'm not getting ready to find myself in a situation where I'm telling people that I'm a Christian because I don't know what your definition of Christianity is. So I'll just be a believer in Jesus Christ. How about that? All right. Let me give you the second point of the reason why we should have our value systems. Because value system, shared value system, builds trust and integrity. Whoa. Because where we are, what we believe, how we feel, what we value makes decisions for us. We make our decisions from our value system. It also guides us in the things that we do each and every day. How we decide, when we do things, where we do things, is all stemming from our value system. So in order for us to build trust is built over time. I'm going to say that again. Trust is built over time. I trust you because I've spent time with you. I have a relationship with you. I've watched you move. I watch how you interface and interact with people. And so now I trust you. You can meet somebody and not like them, but yet trust them. I know that's powerful right there. You can meet someone and not like them, but you trust them. You trust that they're going to get the job done. You trust that they're going to show up on time because they have demonstrated these attributes and these traits over a course of period of time. And that's when you understand that you have a strong value system. I value you because you're bringing something to the table. And what you bring to the table is so key to what we're doing. And it is something that is similar to or what I can identify with. So when we have a shared value system, we build trust and integrity. Let me just spend a moment on integrity because, my Lord, it seems like integrity has gone out the window in this day and this time. I don't know about you, but it's hard to find some people who are that have integrity. I mean, seriously. And when integrity comes in, integrity means that you just do what's right regardless. Like you don't bend and bow, you don't change up, you don't change your colors, you just the same, right? And you're trustworthy. Again, trust comes back up. But you don't bend, you don't bow, you do the same. You show up, you're not code switching. You don't flip when one group comes in and flop when the other group comes in. No, you stay and remain the same. So let's just hit that right there. We need some more integrity. And how we find integrity is the people who they understand having a strong value system. Number one, you've got to put God first. That's who you value. Number two, your family or you. And that to me is just right there. And then there's others. I know you probably say put others before you. No, because you can't take care of anybody else until you take care of you. And you is inclusive of your family. And I mean your immediate family, those persons who are living with you, because they are an extension of who you are. I'm like the airlines. You need to put the mask on you first and then take care of everybody else. And it's too many of us, and I said us, who are out here taking care of everybody else, and we're not taking care of ourselves. But if you have integrity and you're trustworthy, you will make sure that you're good. You'll do some self checks and make sure you're good. Integrity, let me tell you what else integrity does. Integrity shows up even when, listen, other people have wronged you, you still show up right. Oh my gosh. That was a hard pill to swallow for me because I was like, look, what you mean? God, listen, what? They done lied and they done created some stuff and you trying to tell me I got to still show up right? Yes, integrity says you show up right because your value system drives your decisions, Misha. And I'm sharing this with you all. Value systems, your value in God and who He is in your life and how you're going to show up. You show up as God has blessed you and God has kept you and as God has directed you and God has ordained you and God has anointed you regardless if nobody else shows up right. You show up what's right. That doesn't mean that you can't speak up. Because sometimes you need to speak up. I've seen too many people sit back silent. And I don't mean with all of this stuff going on, but don't be sitting up here silent. And then when everything is said and done, you say, well, I knew about it. I had a feeling about that earlier. No, speak up. Speak up. Integrity would allow you to speak up when things are wrong. Speak up. Some things you need to shut down. Some conversations you need to shut down. Some things when you hear it, you need to say, hey, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to know anything about that. And it's okay. And because I know some things I may not need to say, but it's always good when you have a shared value system with someone else on the other end of this says, hey, you don't even have to tell me. Hey, I was going to tell you something. You don't have to tell me. And that's okay. That's where trust and integrity comes in at. So you've got to share values. One creates unity, and shared values allows for trust to be built and integrity to show up. I love that one now. I like that. I like that. Now, here's the last one. I want you to put this down because this is really, really key. Shared value provides clear direction and purpose. Shared values provides clear direction, not just direction, but it's clear direction. And it identifies the purpose of what we're doing and how we're doing it. It aligns your actions with the greater purpose. I was sharing with someone just the other day, and I was saying to them, this anointing that God has placed in your life and who you're walking in and who He's creating you to be, it needs to show up. Your purpose is starting to be fulfilled. It's been starting to manifest, not just to you, but to others who are around you. So as you are moving, you have to remind yourself, my purpose needs to supersede this position. I talk to you all a lot about the purpose over the pain because of the things that I have gone through in life. But when you have a shared value system, you understand that. Can I just pause for one moment and just take a personal time, testimony, and time right here? Because a lot of people didn't understand my movements when my son Stevan passed. They didn't understand it because we didn't have the same shared value system. I know that they love me and they loved me then. I know that they were concerned about me and they're concerned about me now. But in those moments, we didn't have the same shared value system. We weren't aligned in our actions. My purpose for being on this earth, what I'm doing, where God has called me to, and what He has afforded me to have the opportunity to do, came to the forefront and had to continue to push and propel me to do what God wanted me to do. When people don't understand that, sometimes they'll try to rein you in. I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but I know I'm talking to somebody who is listening. They will try to rein you in because they don't understand your purpose. And so that's why you have to make sure that you have the shared value system with people who you allow to be close to you. Because if they don't understand your anointing, they don't understand your purpose, their values will start to spill over on you. And they'll tell you, hey, why are you doing this? And you'll begin to second guess what God has already told you. God told you to write the book, but you begin to second guess, should I share this? Should I share my testimony? God told you to step out on faith and start the business. And you begin to think, can I? Am I able to? Am I valued? Because your person that you're having communication with doesn't have the same value system that you have. You live by faith. Oh my God, this thing's getting ready to hit hard. You walk by faith. Faith is valuable to you. But if somebody else walks by fear and fear is valuable to them, you are already going to have a collide. There's a collision right there because faith and fear do not operate in the same boat. And if you allow for fear to push you and help you make your decisions, remember your shared values, make your decisions, and fear is getting into your conversation and fear is getting into your movements. And then pretty soon you start mishandling what God has blessed you with. You begin to fumble the promises and the blessings that God has for you. You've got to make sure, you got to be very, as they say, be very sure that your anchor holds and grips the solid rock. You got to know that you know that you know my value system is in God and everything that comes with it. I value His love. I value His joy. I value His peace. I value faith. I value long suffering, the meekness. I value it. And I'm not going to allow for you and your fear, and I'm not going to allow for your insecurities, and I'm not going to allow for your disobedience to come and get in the way of what God is already doing for me. So I just share that with you. This is from a personal experience, but also in this moment that sometimes you have to push people away. Sometimes you have to move people in your positioning. Sometimes you need to play chess instead of checkers. You need to move some pieces out of your life so that you can move towards the finish line. It's time for you to move to the back of the board on the chessboard, and you got to say to yourself, King me. Why? Because I'm moving to a place that God has already predestined for me, and I'm not going to allow for anybody who does not have the same value system that I have to stop me from getting where He wants me to go. If we're not on the same page, if we don't have the same value system, I'm going to have this conversation with you. I'm going to give you the opportunity. But then if it has not changed, you seem like you can't get it together, hey, may the Lord watch between me and thee while we are in absent one from another, and let this church say amen. Shared value systems will really help you build unity, create trust and integrity, and it will allow for you to move towards your purpose, because at the end of the day, God's will has to be done in our lives. Our purpose on this earth is to trail that way or to pave that way so that we can get to the will of God for our lives. And I want to encourage you on this day that you will stay focused on God, that you will look around your environment and ensure that you have the right people connected to you and that you're connected with so that you can fulfill your purpose in this life. Let me just say this to you. When we talk about the decisions that we make and we reverse that thing because we take those decisions and we find out where our values are. My homework for you today is for you to write down every decision, I mean major decisions that you're making throughout the day. Just choose one major decision for that day. And keep the journal and say, okay, on Monday, I made a decision uh, to go and get something to eat today. Okay, and that's fine. That means that what do I value? Or maybe I made a decision instead of cooking at home, I made a decision to go out to eat. All right. So that means that I'm valuing going out to eat over cooking at home. Why did I make that decision? Just ask yourself that and kind of start seeing where your values line up. Just make sure that your values then are aligned with where you want them to align. And let me just tell you what happens. And I'm going to walk this thing through. If you're trying to save money, or maybe you put yourself on a restricted, and I don't want to say diet as far as meal plan is concerned, but just on a diet. Maybe you put yourself on, on a rigid discipline. And so you're trying to save money, or you're trying to do things differently. And so here's the opportunity comes up. And instead of choosing to eat at home or choosing to eat healthy, you chose to eat unhealthy, or you chose to eat out and spent more money. So you could ask yourself as to why. Why? Because this is really identifying where your value system is. Why is it hard for me to get things done, or for me to do this the right way? So ask yourself those questions so that you can drill down into your value system. Because knowing your values is just as important as having values. You need to know what your value system is. And a lot of times we don't know what our values are until we're put into a really sticky situation, and then our values show up. But once you identify them, write your value systems down and make sure that they're aligned with where you think you are and where you really need to be when it comes to walking into your purpose in this earth. Listen, I'm so excited about what we're about to go into in this month. God has been doing supernatural things. God has been blessing us with Mission Maynard Ministries, and we've been able to do some great things. Next Sunday, I will be in Memphis, Tennessee at Deliverance Temple with Superintendent Hunt. This is an annual visit that I do, and I always look forward to it. God always blesses. People are healed, set free, and delivered. Lives have been changed every year. I think I've been doing this probably 10 years, and God has been truly amazing and truly blessing us. And so I'm so excited. If you're in the Memphis area and you don't have a church home to go to, or maybe you can slip away, join me at Deliverance Temple at 10 a.m. Deliverance Temple, 10 a.m. with Superintendent Hunt. I can't wait to see you there. And listen, right before that, on the 14th and 15th, I'll be with Tennessee 4th Jurisdiction celebrating and worshiping during our ministers and workers meeting. Cannot wait to be there. That's in Memphis, Tennessee. Then on the 27th, yes, on the 27th, I will be with Bishop Amos and Supervisor Dylan in Puerto Rico. Yes, I'm going to Puerto Rico, and I'll be there with their jurisdiction. Cannot wait. We'll fly there and enjoy the time of the Lord with the wonderful people, the natives that are there, and just really worship God. God is going to use us in a mighty way, and I cannot wait. And no, I'm not going to hang out there. I wish I could, but I have to get back, because on the 30th, I will be with Love Cathedral with Dr. Sims. I can't wait to even be there. Love Cathedral. And it's going to be super fantastic at 3 p.m. So if you're not doing anything now, if you can get to San Juan or Puerto Rico, please join us down there. But if you're in Memphis, catch me March the 16th with Superintendent Hunt at 10 a.m. If you're in Nashville, I'm calling all the saints. Pastor Jerry told me I can invite everybody to come with us. And we'll be with Dr. Sims and Love Cathedral at 3 p.m. It's Women's Day during that month, and we're just going to go and worship the Lord in the ministry, and we just thank God for the opportunity. So, and I've got some great things that are coming down the pipeline too, so just stay tuned. Hang out with us and stay connected. Listen, I always want you to remember this. I want you to stick with us here Catch our 7:45 1 hour power with Pastor Jerry. It's gonna be super fantastic. You know how he gets down. He has just been coming out of the gate. I mean, boom, 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 hitting us real hard. But it's nothing but the grace of God and it's the power of God that's been so amazing. So catch us 7:45 in person or online, and then catch us at 10 a.m. Bishop Manning is gonna be preaching today. I'm pumped up and excited for what God is going to be doing with him in this ministry. Listen, there's great things going on at the cathedral, and we are excited about it. My last thing for you, remember this, that your voice is powerful and your voice is valuable. You go out and make it a great day. Bye.